Beneath the vast, shimmering surface of our world's oceans, a hidden kingdom exists. It's a place of perpetual twilight where sunlight struggles to penetrate the deep blue. Here, strange creatures have evolved to thrive in the immense pressure and cold. Wonderful bioluminescent life glows in the dark. But another kind of being also patrols these silent depths. It's not a creature of flesh and bone, but a marvel of human ingenuity. We're talking, of course, about the submarine. These immense steel leviathans glide through the water with a quiet grace, their purpose often shrouded in mystery. They are the unseen sentinels of the deep, carrying a power that can shape the destiny of nations, all while remaining completely invisible to the world above. Their missions are among the most secret on the planet. For decades, these underwater vessels have been a cornerstone of global power. They're designed for one primary purpose: to disappear. They move without a trace, their crews living for months at a time in a self-contained world, completely cut off from the sun and sky. Imagine a creature perfectly adapted to its environment, moving with such stealth that the surrounding ocean life barely registers its passing. The submarine is humanity's attempt to create such a creature. Its power lies not in its speed or its size, but in its ability to remain hidden. From the dark, silent abyss, it can project its influence across continents. To understand how a submarine launches its formidable cargo, we must first appreciate the nature of the submarine itself. It's a masterpiece of stealth technology designed to be a ghost in the water. Its hull is shaped to move with minimal disturbance, slipping through the currents like a great whale. Special rubber-like tiles coat its exterior. They absorb the pings of enemy sonar, like a moth's wings absorbing the clicks of a hunting bat. This anechoic coating makes the submarine incredibly difficult to find. It muffles sounds from within the vessel. It deadens sound waves that strike it from the outside, ensuring it leaves no acoustic shadow in the vast, dark water. Inside, every component is engineered for silence. The nuclear reactor that powers the vessel is shielded, mounted on massive shock-absorbing platforms to isolate vibrations from the hull. The crew walks on sound-dampening floors and speaks in hushed tones. Even the machinery that creates fresh water and air is designed to run with a whisper. This obsession with silence is paramount to survival. In the underwater world, sound is everything. It's how predators find prey, and how navies hunt each other. For a ballistic missile submarine, to be heard is to be found. To be found is to fail in its ultimate mission of deterrence. Its invisibility is its greatest shield. Deep within the submarine's hull, typically aligned in 2 rows behind the mainsail, lies the heart of its power: the missile tubes. These are massive vertical cylinders. Each one is a self-contained launch system, a secure home for a single ballistic missile. Each tube is a fortress within a fortress, designed to protect its precious cargo from the immense pressures of the deep sea, and to survive the rigors of a long patrol. The missiles themselves can be over 10 meters long. They can weigh many tens of tons. They sit snugly inside, awaiting the call to action. These tubes are much more than simple containers. They're the starting gate for the missile's incredible journey. Each tube is sealed at the top by a massive, watertight hatch. At the bottom of the tube is the breech door, opening into the submarine's interior. This double-door system is critical. It ensures there is never a direct opening between the inside and the sea. The space between the missile and the tube wall is kept dry, and maintained at a controlled atmospheric pressure while on patrol. This controlled environment protects the missile's delicate electronics and the solid-fuel rocket motor from moisture and extreme pressures just centimeters away. When the command to prepare for launch is given, the crew begins meticulous checks. They do not interact with the missile directly. With the missile programmed and all systems verified, the irreversible sequence of launch begins. The first critical step is to open the massive outer hatch at the top of the missile tube. But this can't simply be unlocked and pushed open. The pressure outside is far too great. To solve this, an ingenious equalization process is used. The submarine's pumps begin to fill the missile tube with seawater, flooding the space around the missile. As the water level rises inside the tube, the pressure within it begins to build, rising steadily until it matches the ambient pressure of the sea outside. Think of slowly opening a valve between 2 tanks to let the pressure equalize. This equalization is a delicate and vital part of the process. If the pressure inside the tube were to become much higher than the sea pressure, the hatch could burst open violently. If it were too low, the sea would try to crush the hatch inwards. The submarine systems monitor this process with extreme precision, ensuring the pressures are perfectly balanced. Only when the pressure inside the tube is identical to the pressure outside can the heavy locking mechanisms on the outer hatch be disengaged. With the forces on both sides of the hatch now equal, it can be opened with relative ease by hydraulic actuators, exposing the top of the missile to the cold, dark seawater for the first time. The challenge is immense. How to eject a multi-ton missile from its tube with enough force to send it hurtling towards the surface, all without using its own volatile rocket fuel. The solution is beautifully simple in concept yet incredibly complex in execution. It is often called a cold launch system because it involves no fire or combustion at this stage. Instead of a violent explosion, the launch begins with a powerful, controlled push. The system uses a generator to create a massive bubble of high-pressure gas steam. This generator is located at the base of the missile tube, but it is separated from the missile itself. It is the first stage in a remarkable two-step ejection process. This high-pressure gas is not vented directly onto the base of the missile. Doing so could be too violent and risk damaging the delicate weapon. Instead, the gas is directed into a chamber filled with water at the bottom of the launch tube. This creates an effect, much like a piston. The rapidly expanding bubble of gas pushes down on the water in this chamber, which in turn violently shoves a column of water up the tube and against the base of the missile. The missile itself is essentially pushed out of the tube on a powerful jet of water. This method provides a soft launch, a powerful yet cushioned acceleration that safely ejects the missile without the shock of a direct explosion. This water piston method has several key advantages. Water is incompressible. The heart of the cold launch system is the gas generator. In many modern submarine systems, this is a small, solid propellant rocket motor located in a self-contained chamber at the base of the launch tube. When the launch command is given, this motor ignites. However, it does not burn to create thrust in the traditional sense. Its purpose is to burn very quickly and produce a massive volume of hot, high-pressure gas in a fraction of a second. This gas is then channeled into the launch tube, but it is what happens next that defines the ingenuity of the system. The primary goal is to create a controlled explosion of pressure that can be harnessed to do work. This burst of gas acts like a controlled detonation. As it expands into the base of the tube, it pushes the missile upwards with incredible force. In some designs, particularly on older systems, steam was used instead of gas from a rocket motor. In these steam push systems, a tank of water was flash heated, instantly turning it into high-pressure steam that would expand and drive the missile out. Whether using gas or steam, the principle remains the same. Create a massive bubble of pressure beneath the missile to propel it out of the submarine and towards the surface, all without igniting the missile's main engine. After its brief but violent journey through the water, the missile breaches the surface. It erupts from the ocean in a dramatic plume of spray. Vaporized gas from the launch bubble follows it up. For a split second, the missile hangs in the air. It sheds the last of the seawater. It continues to climb from its own momentum. It is at this precise moment, clear of the water and clear of the submarine, that the most critical phase of its flight begins. A sensor within the missile detects the sudden, dramatic change in acceleration and pressure as it leaves the dense water and enters the thin air. This triggers the ignition of its first-stage rocket motor. With a deafening roar, the solid fuel engine ignites. An enormous tail of fire erupts from the base of the missile. A trailing column of smoke billows out behind it. What was an inert projectile is transformed into a true rocket. The thrust is immense, pushing the missile skyward with ferocious acceleration. A special protective nose cap, called an aerospike, often extends to shape the airflow and improve aerodynamics. The guidance system, which was initialized deep underwater, is now fully active. It makes minute adjustments to the rocket's nozzles to steer the missile onto its pre-programmed trajectory. The silent weapon of the deep has found its voice. The delay is absolutely crucial. From this point on, the missile's journey is one of pure rocketry. It follows a ballistic trajectory toward a target that may be on the other side of the planet. The ability to launch a nuclear missile from a hidden platform from a mobile platform is more than just a technological triumph. It is a fundamental pillar of modern global strategy. This capability, possessed by only a handful of nations, forms the basis of what is known as a secure second strike capability. The logic is straightforward and sobering. Even if a country were to suffer a devastating surprise attack, its ballistic missile submarines, hidden deep within the world's oceans, would survive. They would then be able to launch a retaliatory strike, ensuring that any aggressor would face unacceptable consequences. This assurance of mutual destruction has been a powerful, if terrifying, deterrent to large-scale conflict between major powers for over half a century. The silent service, as the submarine force is often called, carries an immense burden. The crews of these vessels spend months in complete isolation, patrolling their designated areas of the ocean, waiting for a command they hope will never come. Their mission is not to fight a war, but to prevent one from ever starting. Their invisibility is their strength, and their power is a promise. For now, in our world of today, September 20th, 2025, these steel leviathans continue to glide through the darkness, their silent patrols a key element in the delicate and fragile balance that we call peace.